This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good Thursday morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
Yes, as another history professor used to say to me. Good morning, happy, smiling, and cheerful people. Indeed. And welcome joining us, Josh Stone.
We're learning a lot.
Right, I know.
See,
You are
it's
a
history.
history
There's a lot
teacher.
in my history. There is. It's a long history, unfortunately.
It is Friday Eve, and I am ready for the weekend.
I like that term, Friday Eve. Yeah.
It gives you a little hope
It
for
does
the rest of the day.
I used to say, Thursdays are attached to Fridays, but Friday Eve, that kind of sums it up
Right.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to learn some new terminology today for driving and
Right.
tickets. It's pretty amazing. Ray Collins is going to tell us all about these new terms as far as roadways are concerned.
Lots to learn today.
Yes.
I know.
And informative.
We've been talking about, teaching people about, there's something coming by Thursday night. We've been talking about this for
Friday
several
Eve.
days, and today is the big day.
The apocalypse?
This is like, no, not the apocalypse.
The weather apocalypse for the
But,
Suncoast.
it makes the weather department pretty excited. We've been talking about it, and here it's going to come. It's going to come in. It's going to come in
Right.
tonight. The winds are going to pick up, and then the change develops while we're sleeping. And then by tomorrow, when we wake up, we're going to feel the change. And we're looking at maybe some areas around the Suncoast experiencing highs tomorrow of our current temperature right now. Yikes, 61 degrees is our current temperature. Like I said, that in some areas around the Suncoast could be our high tomorrow, thanks to this cold front coming in. Also want to point out there's some areas of patchy, dense fog around the Suncoast. There is a dense fog advisory for the mariners that should lift at 9 a.m. this morning. So if you're taking your boat out, just look out for that. But also, if you're on the roadways, you could run into some patchy, dense fog. So just take your time on your morning commute. Radar is quiet, nothing to show you here. The front is to our north. It is coming. And then as we get into the latter part of the day, partly cloudy skies and highs in the upper 70s. But that changes by tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh. Taking a look at the Suncoast roadways right now, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. But volume on State Road 70 heading westbound as you cross 301 is pretty much the only hot spot on the Suncoast anywhere. Otherwise, all the roadways are moving along. 75, 301, 41, both in Manatee and Sarasota County, and all the arteries leading out to 75 looking good as well this morning. Now, topping our news, a small victory in the fight against the worsening heroin epidemic in Manatee County.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office has arrested 2 men for attempting to sell drugs in Bradenton. A detective with the Special Investigations Division arranged a deal in the 6,000 block of 14th Street West. That's where Willie Brown and Timothy Steele arrived at the location. Brown allegedly then sold the detective $80 worth of heroin, and he was arrested without incident. Detectives also found enough marijuana on him to warrant a felony charge. Steele also arrested for possession of marijuana.
Beginning this weekend, Sarasota police will start a 4-month traffic crackdown. They'll focus on the areas with the most accidents in the city. Officers will be taking a closer look at basic infractions by drivers, bicyclists, and pedestrians.
It's not just pedestrian, it's vehicles also. Vehicles violating pedestrian violations and pedestrians violating vehicle right-of-ways also.
The campaign runs from January 1st to May 14th. It was made possible through a grant from the state and also the University of South Florida's Center for Urban Transportation Research.
An improvement project planned for Jacaranda Boulevard and East Venice Avenue is set to begin soon. According to the Sun Herald, the Florida Department of Transportation has announced that the project is set to begin in March. Plans for the improvements include creating curbs and barriers to keep drivers from changing lanes and moving from the right turn only lane to go into the roundabout. There will also be new signs and pedestrian crossings as well. Officials say the project will hopefully help slow down traffic and reduce the number of accidents at that roundabout.
And Suncoast Representative Vern Buchanan is outlining his key legislative priorities for 2017. Job creation, protecting Medicare and Social Security, and protecting the country from terrorists. They all top his list. He also wants to reduce taxes to spur economic growth and create jobs. He added that strengthening Social Security and Medicare will help seniors live independently. Also, a controversial bonus program for Florida teachers could face some changes in the upcoming legislative session. Governor Rick Scott has hinted that he will propose a different way to keep high-quality teachers in the public school systems. Many complain that the Best and Brightest program is reliant on teachers' scores on their students' college admission tests. House leaders are currently the program's strongest backers, and they've indicated they're open to some changes. Members of the Senate have also indicated they'd like to see some revisions.
New this morning, the Manatee County School District is one step closer to building a new high school in Parrish. According to the Bradenton Herald, the school board has closed on the purchase of 48 acres of land next to their own property to build the school. The district plans to build a two-story building big enough to fit 2,100 students when the school first opens. Now they hope to break ground on that project in July and then open the school for the start of the 2019-2020 school year. A public meeting about that project will be held in February. Now to an update on the Manatee High School marching band that's been stuck at Philadelphia Airport. The band is on its way to Rome for the New Year's holiday. However, half of the band is already in Rome, but the other half got stuck after their flight was canceled in Philadelphia. American Airlines did offer the group a shuttle to get to John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. And the airline is also offering a special direct flight to Rome from JFK for the band. Now, they are expected to take off this morning at 9 a.m. Thankfully, on Sunday, the band will take part in the New Year's Day parade there in Rome.
Oh, it's a great honor. Great honor there.
Yeah, and luckily, hopefully they'll get there sooner rather than later.
Get there in time for sure. Bring in the new year.
Exactly. Well done. Red tide levels across the Suncoast, but that's not entirely good news as they continue to decrease.
Yes, the Wildlife Center of Venice treating a large number of sick birds that they say are infected with a disease linked with red tide. More than 30 birds have been rescued and are being treated. The Wildlife Center believes the birds ate dead red tide stricken fish. Now the center hopes people going to the beach will keep an eye out for sick birds, which are pretty easy to spot.
Doesn't leave. When you walk up to it and it just looks at you, you know that something's wrong with it. They're kind of dull. Their eyes are dull. They're very slow in response. Again, they stagger.
The Wildlife Center is in serious need of volunteers to help find and treat the sick birds. So if you want to volunteer, let them know. The historic ship that sank during Hurricane Hermine earlier this year is back above water. The San Francisco is a vintage cargo ship that's based at the marina behind the Seafood Shack. Crews previously attempted to bring it to the surface, but yesterday crews patched up some holes in an effort to lift it. And some believe efforts to improve the historic ship will lead to the public understanding the importance of clean water.
One of the last remaining fishing villages in Florida. We have the fish preserve there, which is basically a nursery for the small fish, and this will help perpetuate the fishing industry. But it all depends on the clean water for all these things to happen.
A full restoration for the boat is expected to take about 3 years. And as Hanukkah continues, the Shabbat of Venice will host their annual Hanukkah Klezmer Festival tonight at Centennial Park.
During this year's event, organizers will unveil a new menorah that was created using the rockets that were fired into Israel in 2014. The director at Shabbat of Venice says it's to show the darkest of dark that can turn into the greatest of lights. Tonight's event will also honor local law enforcement and firefighters as well. That festival begins at 4:30 and runs until 6:30, and the whole community is invited.
Seems like fun.
Sounds like fun, and hopefully some better weather. Maybe might need a little jacket for it too as well, right?
Yeah, tonight's going to be, well, actually later tonight's when things really start to happen. And tomorrow night is the night that's going to be probably the chilliest in the forecast. But we do rebound, and we'll talk all about it, coming up in weather. But are you ready for this big change?
I'm about that age for the big change, but still to come on your Suncoast News, saying goodbye to Debbie Reynolds. We'll take a look at her legacy as the news spreads of her passing just a day after the death of Carrie Fisher, her daughter.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC7 and these sponsors.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our office and ask for Kimberly King.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
All right, time to get up and at 'em. It is Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone, showing you that our current temperatures right now around the Suncoast are in the lower 60s. But you know what? These temperatures have cooled close to the dew point, the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere. And that means there's some areas of patchy fog that have developed. Happened to me on my way into work this morning. I ran into some dense fog at times, so just look out for that on the roadway. Slow it down for your morning commute. And also, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the mariners just offshore here of the Suncoast. That is until 9 a.m. Hopefully things will mix out by then. So here's the headlines. We're talking about the morning fog for this morning. That should burn off by the mid-morning hours. Partly cloudy skies by the afternoon, and then the big chill comes in for tonight. We've been talking about this for days now, and tonight is the night when the cold front arrives, picks up the winds to maybe 25 miles per hour, so it's going to be quite gusty. We're talking about later tonight. And then tomorrow, we're really going to feel the temperature change. It's also possible this cold front could bring a few showers to the Suncoast. Not much, though. It's going to be a hit or miss situation because there's just not a lot of upper level dynamics for this cold front to work with. But right now, as you can see, the radar is very quiet. Some shower activity over the Panhandle. It's isolated, though. But this is arguably where the front is, and it is going to be sagging southward throughout the day, stirring up a little more shower activity to our north in north central Florida. And then as it charges in later tonight, we're talking about maybe roughly 9:30, 10, 11 tonight. We're really going to start to feel those winds pick up, and then maybe some showers develop here along the Suncoast. Again, this is going to be kind of hit or miss because there's just not a lot of upper level dynamics for this front to work with. A little bit of moisture there, but but not a lot. And then, bam, once this thing goes south, all that cold air spills southward over us, and we're going to really feel the effects by tomorrow. High is only topping out in the low to mid 60s. For the northerners, the snowbirds, they're down here on vacation. They're like, hey, this is great. You know, we're going from teens and lower 20s for temperatures, and we're coming down to Florida. Mid 60s sounds great. But, you know, we've been experiencing temperatures in the low to mid 80s for the last several days, and mid 60s is like a 20-degree temperature drop like that. However, as we get into our New Year's Day, we'll rebound, which is nice. All right, for the boaters, here is your forecast. Looking at the tides, low tide at 7:32 a.m. this morning, high tide at 1:58 this afternoon, and then the sunset will be at 5:46 tonight. Remember, boaters or mariners, there is a dense fog advisory until 9 a.m., and that should be lifted by that time, and fog should burn off. Westerly wind at 5 to 10 knots, seas at 1 to 2 feet just offshore, with light conditions in the bays. Temperature at the beach, 76, 77 for a high today. And then, look at this, 64 for the high in Sarasota tomorrow. We rebound by New Year's Day, 78 degrees, which is nice. And then more rain comes into the area, which we really need the rain, especially the farmers do, by early next week. Done?
All right, thanks a lot, Josh. Taking a look at Suncoast roadways. All is good right now. It's 6:16. A little bit more volume in Manatee County, but no impediments, no accidents. And as you head down into Sarasota County, that too is moving along. Less people on the roadway, it seems, but those who are moving along without any problems. Now, another heartbreaking headline out of Hollywood last night.
That's right. Actress Debbie Reynolds passed away just a day after her daughter, Carrie Fisher. ABC's Janae Norman has the stunning development shocking the entertainment world.
More heartache for the family of Carrie Fisher. Debbie Reynolds, who stole America's heart in the 50s in movies like Singing in the Rain. Good morning to you. And the unsinkable Molly Brown.
Ladies and gent, did I ever tell you about the time I was a bar girl in a saloon?
Tragically outliving her daughter by just one day.
Got it from Eddie. Eddie's side.
The famous mom and daughter duo nearly inseparable.
I wanted to be like my mother. I worship my mother.
The two live next door to each other in Beverly Hills. Reynolds spent most of the last week at her daughter's side after Fisher went into cardiac arrest on a flight to LA Friday. On Twitter, the 84-year-old Hollywood icon updating her daughter's condition, thanking the world for prayers and good wishes. Days later, dealing with Fisher's sudden death, and then rushed to the hospital the very next day after suffering a stroke.
When we got to the hospital, they quickly told us that this was not something that could be dealt with, and, you know, it was not going to be very long, and it wasn't.
Fisher's brother Todd saying the stress of it all was just too much for Reynolds, who wanted to be with her daughter. Fisher is survived by her 24-year-old daughter, Billie Lord, and Reynolds by her son, Todd. You can hear Todd describe more of what led up to his mother's death today on Good Morning America. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
It's been an amazing year. Debbie Reynolds, America's sweetheart before her daughter Carrie ever became Princess Leia, before she was even in the public eye. And still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
A group of teens stranded 2 miles out to sea when their boat capsized used some fast thinking to save themselves from tragedy. We'll show you how they got to safety coming up.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a CRV for $219 during Wild's final clearance. Just $219 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Riding at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a Taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbythebay.org.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a Civic for $179 during Wild's final clearance. Just $179 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda, Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Welcome back. It's 6:21. 3 teens are safe after an emergency at sea off the Florida Keys.
Yeah, they don't always end well, so thankfully this one, they managed to climb on top of their rented boat after it capsized. They called 911. ABC's Diane Macedo has a look into it.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a dramatic rescue for these 3 teens after a routine fishing trip turned upside down, literally.
We're in the middle of the ocean. We flipped the boat.
Zach Soder, Brent Shishido, and Jacob Soder were fishing 2 miles off the Florida Keys when their boat suddenly started taking on water.
By the time we realized we were in trouble, it probably took a minute for the boat to go down completely.
Still, Brent managed to quickly save his phone.
I jumped in and kept my hand above the water.
And as he called 911, the teens climbed onto the top of the 22-foot boat.
Our life jackets are underneath the boat. We didn't have time to get them.
Everybody a good swimmer or no?
Yes, we're all strong swimmers.
Luckily, Deputy James Hager spotted the teens and brought them safely to shore.
It was just a huge feeling of relief to come up to them and see them all 3 there together with the boat.
And we'll have more of this stunning survival story coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Diane Macedo, ABC News, New York.
It's Macy's After Christmas Sale. Save 25% on dazzling social dresses at our biggest social event of the season. Take 60% off clearance fine jewelry. Designer underwear for him. Buy one, get one 50% off at our biggest underwear sale of the season. Plus bras from Warner's, Bally, Olga, and more. Buy 2, get 1 free. And save 30 to 60% on bedding and bath at our biggest white sale. Macy's After Christmas Sale.
Like everybody, I want to live a life that's full of the happiness found in living the life I want, full of the energy that comes with good health, full of the great foods I love. And at Weight Watchers, I don't have to choose between weight loss and living well. I live well while losing weight. It is easier than it's ever been, and not one day have I felt deprived. Most important, it works!
Join for free now and lose 10 pounds on us.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
The new year is on its way. Are you ready to stick to your resolutions? I'm Joey Panic on Suncoast View. We get some important tips on how you can eat better in 2017, plus make sure that those good habits stick. A world-renowned artist is kicking off his exhibit right here on the Suncoast with an exclusive look. Florida Studio Theater brings us one of their longest-running performers with her role in Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, Suncoast for Sale, and Blue Mangrove Grill in the kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
Sarasota, we're uncorking something special at Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere with our wine specialists. You'll find 1,000 international wines, 200 under $20. National brand and boutique liquors at competitive pricing. Handcrafted beers. Stop by Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room today and let us show you something exceptional.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, 20 years later, the mystery continues in the murder of JonBenet Ramsey, and now her brother is suing a network.
And a buying ban you need to know about, why teens won't be able to pick up certain common cold remedies at the local drugstore moving forward.
And check your receipt. Next time you use a ride-sharing app, you could be charged a fee you knew nothing about.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome back on this Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And along with Josh Stone, I'm Don Brennan. John Scalzi is, well, he's working the night shift, so he is not with us this week, but he'll return. And I did promise some new words in our lexicon as far as
that's all right. Here we go.
traffic. And I want to promise,
educate us.
Ray Collins has said that Sarasota police cracking down on aggressive drivers, which we know that term, oblivious bicyclists, and presumptuous pedestrians. So you could be ticketed.
Vocabulary lesson here on Good Morning Suncoast
How
today.
many times can you say that in a row?
I can't. Once is pretty much my limit.
Yeah, not going to give that one a shot.
Tongue-tied, tongue-tied.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys ready for a change?
Cheer.
I guess so.
Yeah, 'tis the season, right?
It's the season for some
All right,
change.
we've been talking about this for days now, and tonight is the night with the change coming our way with the cold front coming down from the northwest. Right now, our current temperature is 62 in Sarasota, 61 in Mayac City, 60 in Arcadia, so upper 50s, lower 60s around the Suncoast. You know what, though? Temperatures have cooled close to the dew point, and when that happens, that means we can see or experience a cloud on the ground, or otherwise known as fog. So there's areas of patchy fog around the Suncoast, so look out for your morning commute. Just slow it down the roadways this morning. And also, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the mariners for some sea fog just offshore. That will lift at 9 a.m. or the mid-morning hours. Radar is quiet. We could get some showers from this cold front coming our way tonight. It's going to be a hit or miss situation. But our highs today, very comfortable once again, upper 70s. Tomorrow, little different story. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about coming up a little bit later.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh. Taking a look at the roadways, it's 6:30 and everything is moving along as normal. Volume picking up on 301 southbound as you cross State Road 70, but it's not an accident or a big delay. It's just a little more volume than there was earlier, and everything else is without a problem. In Sarasota County, too, no issues or delays. Not a lot of people on the road this morning. Now, topping our news this half hour, as the punishment phase of Dylan Roof's death penalty trial begins, Roof says he will not call any witnesses or present any evidence in his case. He's acting as his own lawyer.
Yeah, like you said, he is representing himself after firing his lawyers following his conviction earlier this month. He says he's trying to keep potentially embarrassing evidence about himself and his family a secret. But the judge has indicated that that information may be allowed during the trial, which begins next week. Now, the same jurors who convicted Roof of killing 9 black church members at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston in 2015 will return to hear testimony from Roof, as well as families of those victims. They will then decide whether Roof should be put to death or spend the rest of his life in prison. Meanwhile, the older brother of JonBenet Ramsey is now suing CBS and other parties over a 6-part series about her death. Burke Ramsey is seeking $750 million, claiming that the network and its production company ruined his reputation. The 6-part series aired in September ahead of the 20th anniversary of JonBenet's death and concluded with the idea that Burke killed his sister, and viewers were left to make that decision on their own. The 6-year-old was found dead in the basement of her family's home in Boulder, Colorado, the day after Christmas in 1996. CBS has yet to comment on that lawsuit.
Back here in Florida, a statewide ban on minors buying certain over-the-counter cough medicines is just one of 3 new laws that will hit the books on Sunday. The law prohibits people from under 18 buying medicines with dextromethorphan, and that's the ingredient found in medicines including Robitussin, Alka-Seltzer Plus, and Tylenol cough and cold medicine. The law was proposed after reports of teens using cough medicine to get cheap highs. Also, a second new law prohibits insurance policies that cover opioid medications from requiring prior authorization for abuse-deterrent versions of the medication. Supporters say the law will make it easier for people who need painkillers to have access to medication less likely to cause addiction. Critics argue that the law could drive up insurance costs. And finally, the third law taking effect allows financial institutions to designate locations or registered agents where deliveries can be made for documents, including summonses or subpoenas. And if you receive a ticket for running a red light, beware, because it could just be a scam. An email has been circulating in Florida for a few weeks now. The crooks email victims a citation saying they need a payment within 3 days and include a hyperlink to the payment page. The email also threatens the recipient they will have to pay fees and their license will be suspended if they don't send payment. The email includes the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles logo, which makes it look legitimate, but the agency does not email citations.
If they had received this email, that they needed to either, ignore it, or if they had responded and were a victim, then they needed to go ahead and refute the charges with their financial institution, as well as potentially put fraud alerts on their accounts.
Now, if you get a ticket you think is a scam, you should contact the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles or the Clerk of Courts.
Well, if you're just now getting up, you're probably filling up your coffee cup to wake up a little bit, or like Don and I, we've been drinking coffee since about 3 this morning. But for one man in California, filling up on his caffeine landed him in jail. Joseph Schwab was driving home in California after a long day. We've all been there. But then he was pulled over for driving in and out of traffic, and an officer claimed he was under the influence of drugs. He was arrested and taken to jail, where a blood test showed that the only drug in his system was, believe it or not, caffeine. Now, a district attorney says she believes there may have been other drugs in his system that didn't show up in the test. However, there's not enough evidence yet to prove that. The charges against Schwab have now been dropped. Interesting. Who would have thought?
Driving on caffeine.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember Shaquille O'Neal, the great basketball player, was pulled over for driving too slow before. And
Right.
they thought it was because he was under the influence, but he was not.
Well, guess I'm going to have to cut back on my coffee or something along those
Yes,
lines.
just don't drive after drinking.
Exactly. Well, if you're here in Florida and you want to take a dip in the pool, probably not the way 2 people in Miami Beach wanted to end up there.
Yeah, take a look at this. Residents in Miami Beach apartment complex felt the whole building shake, and when they looked out to see the source of it, they found a car in their swimming pool. If that's not weird enough, the driver now giving his account of how he ended up there.
They told the police that they saw a raccoon and they tried to get away from the raccoon. They hit and came all the way into the pool. Amazing.
2 people in the car are okay. There were also people in the pool at the time. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Crews are working to clean up the area, and maybe they were drinking coffee before they drove into the pool.
I wonder how that raccoon is doing.
In St. Louis County, teenager recovering after he was bit by a shark while he was out surfing. It happened at Avalon State Park Beach in Fort Pierce. Zach Davis goes surfing, fishing, or swimming just about every day, but this shark encounter was a first for him.
I was on a wave and like one part of the wave like closed out and like that like took me underwater, and like when I was underwater I just got like hit right here like by a shark. It just like held on for like 2 or 3 seconds.
Davis made a tourniquet from the cord of his surfboard and rushed home, where he told his mom not to freak out, but he was taken to the hospital. He needed 42 stitches, so while he says he plans on heading back to the water, he'll have to wait a little while before he can get back in. And patrons of popular ride-sharing apps are speaking out about charges that they feel are wrong.
Yeah, some Uber and Lyft riders claim that the companies are charging them for cleaning fees that they had nothing to do with. Across social media, riders now posting that they were charged for damage during Uber or Lyft rides that they say they did not do. The ride-sharing app's policy states when a driver reports damage, however, they have to send 2 clear photos of that damage, identifying the rider and a description of how that damage happened. The passengers then have to contact the company to dispute the charge. And the United Way has ranked a popular supermarket as the most generous workplace here on the Suncoast. The nonprofit Publix is the most generous workplace of 2016. The leaders are determined by their philanthropic contributions to the Suncoast during the previous fiscal year. Following behind Publix, FCCI Insurance Group, the Sarasota County School Board, Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System, and Wells Fargo Bank follow suit. And leaving those bad 2016 memories behind, it's all part of an effort in New York City, where organizers on New Year's Eve in Times Square invited the public to say goodbye to those memories at the annual Good Riddance Day. A dumpster and shredder was stationed on Broadway Plaza between 45th and 46th Streets to discard any distasteful, embarrassing, and downright depressing memories from 2016. Organizers say it's a good way to start the new year with a clean slate.
And Doug Martin, the Buccaneers' phenomenal running back, has been suspended 4 games for violating the NFL's policy on steroids. He will seek treatment immediately instead of appealing that. And the Miami Hurricanes, meanwhile, took on number 16 West Virginia last night in Orlando, and West Virginia took an early lead in the first, a 6-yard touchdown right there. And actually, Brad Kaya, it might have been his last football game as quarterback for the Canes, but he started badly. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And he hits Malcolm Lewis there for a 3-yard touchdown. Miami would come all the way back. They led 21-7 at halftime. They had a strong third quarter as well, and they went on to win 31-14. It's a big accomplishment for the Canes because they hadn't won a bowl game since 2006, and as I said, that might have been the final game for Brad Kaya. Now, University of Florida, they're preparing for the Outback Bowl in Tampa. That's on Monday. Team practice yesterday at Jesuit High School, and it'll be the 5th Outback Bowl appearance for both the Gators and the Iowa Hawkeyes, and the 3rd time the teams have faced each other in the game. This might be the lowest scoring bowl of the postseason, with both teams having strong defenses.
The opportunity to go compete. I don't care what it's in. If you want to go and play some dominoes right now, you know, I'm going to try to beat you. That's what it's all about.
The Outback Bowl, one of the best, well, you eat the best at the Outback Bowl. Obviously, the game kicks off at 1 on Monday right here on ABC 7, and it'll be the first college football game of 2017 because January 1st is a Sunday, and that's for the NFL, the last week of NFL, so you don't play college football on Sundays.
True, very true.
So there you go. Gators kick off 2017 with the Outback Bowl right here in Tampa.
Awesome.
I need to, I guess, start with the coffee.
I've already had about 3 cups this morning already. I should probably, you can have some of my coffee if you want.
Actually, coffee puts me to sleep. It's weird. It's like the reverse effect for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I'll stick with my tea, caffeinated tea. Anyway, well, we have some changes underway, and actually the big change comes tonight, and we'll talk about it in weather.
might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Sarasota Institute of Lifetime Learning begins its 46th season on Monday, January 9th in Sarasota, Venice, and Lakewood Ranch. Meet Blair Tyndall, author of Mozart in the Jungle, on Monday, January 9th, and information and intelligence expert Terry Roberts on Tuesday, January 10th. 72 global issues lectures by renowned experts, 24 musical conversations with great performers. Tickets are on sale now. For more information and to purchase season tickets, visit SILLSarasota.org.
We're ringing in the new year with huge savings for you at Bacon's Furniture and Design. Save 30, 50, even 70% off name brand furniture throughout our showroom as we welcome 2017. See the flex steel styles you love like Danvers, Dillon, Mystic, Fleet Street sectionals, and more, all at the guaranteed lowest prices.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Start the new year off with a fresh look in your home from Bacon's Furniture and Design in Sarasota. Nobody beats Bacon's.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone, and in a week's stretch, we've had a lot of Eves, right? Okay, so we had Christmas Eve. We're going to have New Year's Eve, and I think Jacqueline dubbed Thursday Eve. So, happy Thursday Eve. Excuse me, Friday Eve. I'm all over the place. Friday, yes, Thursday Eve or Friday Eve. Let's just talk about the weather. 62 degrees right now. It's close to the dew point. Temperatures cooled down to close to the dew point, which means there's areas of patchy fog, and some areas have dense patchy fog, so look out for that on the roadways. Just offshore, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the mariners. That is until 9 a.m. That should lift and mix out by the mid-morning hours. The radar remains very quiet at this time. Some shower activity and some moderate to even some heavy showers up here in the Panhandle. For the most part, fairly isolated, but this is the beginnings of this cold front that's going to slowly sag southward throughout the day, cause a little more shower activity to the north of the I-4 corridor in north central Florida. By the time it gets to us, we could have some hit or miss showers, just not a lot of upper level dynamics for this cold front to work with. And then the cold front charges in here to bring us the cooler air. Just want to point this out here. We really need some rain around the Suncoast. Since December 1st of this this month, just 1.22 inches of rainfall. Since January 1st, 49.08 inches of rainfall, and the average is 52.82. So we are down nearly 3.74 or 3 inches. Man, it's just one of those mornings. I think I do need to start drinking more coffee. Anyway, so we need a rainfall, and it looks like we're going to get some relief, maybe not from this cold front, but another system that will come our way as we get into next week. So here comes a cold front as we go through the evening hours, maybe about 10 o'clock tonight. We could get some spotty showers, not very heavy rain, possibly 1/4 of an inch in some locations. But then behind the cold front, that cooler air spills southward, and we're talking about temperatures tomorrow about 20 degrees cooler than what we've experienced over the last several days. So here's a cold front here. Could actually trigger some severe weather here around Georgia and Alabama, but that's for them and not for us. For the boaters today, again, dense fog advisory until 9 a.m. Westerly wind at 5 to 10 knots. Seas at 1 to 2 feet just offshore with a light chop in the bays. Temperature at the beach today, 76 degrees. And for your forecast, well, here it comes. The cold front arrives tonight. It's also going to be pretty breezy with winds gusting about 25 miles per hour. Our high tomorrow only 64, so that's below the average high of 72. We rebound very nicely by New Year's Day, 78 degrees, and then by early next week, some much needed, possibly measurable rainfall comes into the Suncoast by Monday and Tuesday. Don?
Thanks, Josh. Taking a look at the roadways, things are picking up, volume picking up as people finish out the week at work, but a lot of people are on vacation, so it hasn't been very voluminous this week, but you see a hot spot there heading northbound on 301 just past State Road 70, but no accidents or delays in all of Manatee County. In fact, on all of the Suncoast, Sarasota County is looking good all the way from North Point to the southernmost tip there.
All right, well, this next story a little troubling. A new study finds more women are smoking pot while pregnant.
A new study finds that moms-to-be are turning to marijuana to treat morning sickness. But while medical marijuana has its approved uses, doctors say that's not one of them. A new report shows almost 4% of pregnant women said that they had recently used marijuana. Doctors say using pot while pregnant could lead to low birth rates, preterm labor, and neurological problems. Doctors are worried about the long-term effects marijuana could cause as the child grows up.
And a study finds that children whose moms took high doses of fish oil during their last 3 months of pregnancy were less likely to develop chronic wheezing problems or asthma by age 5. Researchers in Denmark had about 700 women take multiple grams a day of a supplement containing 2 types of fish oil. Now, the fish oil seemed to reduce the risk of breathing problems in children by about 1/3. There also were fewer cases of bronchitis, pneumonia, and other infections in the fish oil group.
The new year brings new opportunities to tackle the opioid epidemic that is running rampant in Manatee County, Sarasota County, and all over the country. According to the CDC, increased prescribing and sales of opioids help create and fuel this deadly problem. But a new program with the Cleveland Clinic is helping people fight the pain without drugs. Participants meet as a group and practice gentle yoga, acupuncture, and massage, and there's a strong focus on state of mind. The program also focuses on emotional health and ways to manage that, like using hypnotherapy. Cleveland Clinic hopes to expand the program to other medical facilities across the country. And with New Year's coming up this weekend, there's numerous people who are going to make those resolutions that last for like 24, 36 hours. You know?
Exactly. Well, if you're like most people, though, there's a good chance your resolution will be a pledge to lose weight. We've all heard it over and over again. Now, once you do decide to make that change, though, here are a few tips that can help you. First off, track your weight at least once a week and keep a daily food journal. Also, watch for empty calories, such as drinks like alcohol and sodas. And of course, make sure you get your exercise in.
Let's get the message straight. Physical activity is incredibly important. It's great for fitness, great for health, great for reducing the risk of diabetes. But doing more activity this week rather than last week won't increase the amount of weight that you lose.
And before you start any exercise or diet plan, make sure to consult with your doctor to make sure you are healthy.
In entertainment news, some changes on Broadway. Hamilton has ousted the King. The award-winning musical topped the Broadway box office in 2016, edging out the reigning champ, The Lion King. Hamilton earned more than $105 million and became the first Broadway show to make $3 million in a single 8-show week. Amazing.
Yeah, and Scarlett Johansson is box office gold. Forbes has named her the top grossing actor of 2016 with her movies bringing in $1.2 billion at global ticketing booths. Captain America: Civil War was the bulk of that, grossing more than $1.15 billion. Now, the 32-year-old narrowly beat out her co-stars Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. for that top spot. Johansson also got a boost from the movie Hail Caesar.
Hundreds of fans turned out for a lightsaber tribute in Austin last night in memory of late actress Carrie Fisher. Now, with lightsabers held high, Star Wars fans of multiple generations and possibly other galaxies were out in full force for a screening of the latest film, Rogue One. The theater said they hope to use the funds from Wednesday's turnout as charitable donations. Fisher, as you know, passed away on Tuesday after suffering a heart attack on a London flight to L.A. on Friday. She was just 60 years old. Her mother, Debbie Reynolds, died yesterday at 84 of a stroke.
All right, well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
It's been a tough year in Hollywood, and just that last story proves it. One man in South Carolina offering to help make sure it doesn't get any worse. We'll explain coming up.
These are our heroes. They have sacrificed so much to serve our country. And now Granny Nannies is truly honored to serve them. We're here and we're ready to help. Call us today.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Holiday scratch-offs are here, and oh, they make great surprises. Imagine the joy they will bring. With over $126 million in prizes, use them for a wreath or a place card for your feast. Attach them, scratch them, and let the magic happen. Holiday scratch-offs. The Florida Lottery has them. Just imagine.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency. We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-658-3433. 800-658-3433.
At Granny Nannies, we provide your loved ones with the care they deserve, compassionate and experienced help right where you need it most, at home. Visit us at grannynannies.com.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
All right, it's 6:53. Welcome back. Here's a look at what you need to know before you go. Sarasota police will be watching motorists closely starting this weekend. A new program kicks off that will focus on areas in the city that have the most accidents. Plus, improvements will soon be made to a dangerous intersection in Venice. FDOT plans to enhance the Jacaranda roundabout to cut down on the number of crashes. And a day after the death of Star Wars icon Carrie Fisher, her mother, actress Debbie Reynolds, also passes away from a stroke.
Taking a look at Suncoast roadways. Our first accident in the morning, that's on 41 at State Road 70, and it is causing a backup as you head southbound on 41 from Cortez Road, from that intersection there. So be aware of that. Also a little high volume on 301 North, just past State Road 70. Sarasota County itself is pretty free and clear of any worries this morning right now. Josh?
That's good to know because there's patchy fog around the Suncoast, so look out for that. 77 will be our high today, but a change is coming. Cold front comes in tonight, picks up the winds. Our high tomorrow only 64. And tomorrow night's going to be very chilly, 43 here in Sarasota, but some areas in the 30s. We rebound by New Year's Day, though, 78 degrees.
All right. With so many celebrities passing away in 2016, a South Carolina man came up with a plan to keep one of his idols safe. Demetrius Hersico started a GoFundMe page to help protect Betty White from 2016.
Everyone we've lost, I was like, it's not a time for jokes, but maybe people need to laugh.
He says the whole thing started out in jest, but has become an internet sensation. He's donating the money to the Spartanburg Little Theater to help craft a new start of stage and screen. See, he wanted to be able to take that money, fly to her, and protect her. So she is with us in 2017 with all the tragedy going on, and he's going to use it for good stead for sure.
Right, and I wonder what she thinks of this whole thing, if she's gotten word of it, and what, I mean, I'd be interested to know what she has to say.
Knowing her, she's probably having fun with
right,
it.
Right.
How old is she? How young is she?
94.
Yeah, she's in her 90s.
94.
Yeah,
wow.
All right.
Good for her.
Have a great day, everybody. We're going to leave you with a look at the new bald eaglets, or the eagle's nest, as we await the bald eaglets.